At this meeting. Okay, my name is Eve Lee, the organizing chair. On behalf of FBC Cancer Support Group, we would like to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Your presence here speaks volumes about the strength and resilience within our community. Thank you so much. Living with cancer, whether as a patient, survivor, or caregiver, comes with its unique challenges. But it also brings us together in ways that are truly remarkable. Is in these moments of connection and understanding that we find solace, support, and hope. Okay? In this safe space, we can share our stories, our fears, and our triumphs without judgment. Confidentiality and respect are paramount here. We encourage each of you to speak openly and honestly. As we gather today, let's embrace the strength that lies within our shared experiences. Together, we can navigate the uncertainties, celebrate the victories, and lift each other up during the challenging moments. Thank you all for being here. We are truly grateful for the opportunity to connect with each of you and to embark on this journey of support together. Let's make today's meeting a source of comfort, inspiration, and empowerment for us all. Thank you so much. Okay. Brothers and sisters, may I introduce our next topic. We are thrilled to announce our next topic, next meeting, scheduled for April 14, 2024. We'll be diving into a crucial topics. The topics are dealing with the fear of cancer recurrence. Yes, I have that. And fear of cancer diagnosis. We'll be tackling these two topics through an engaging panel discussion. And we will have Dr. Peter, oncologist, psychologist, or psychiatrist, cancer survivors, patients advocates, caregivers, and etc. on our panel discussion. Without further ado, we should focus on today's topic, the role of food in cancer. Okay. Let's start off by inviting our sister Diana, a cancer survivor, to share with us her struggle with food before, during, and after cancer treatment. Can I have Sister Diana here, please? Sister Diana? Okay, before Sister Diana come, I can share with you my struggle with food. Okay, I'm a cancer survivor. Stage 3. Okay, I don't want to talk. Whenever I talk about my experience, my tears will run down. I'm so sorry about that. I cannot control my emotion. Yes, Sister Diana, thank you so much for covering me. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Today I'm asked to share my experience during my sickness. Actually, I don't have much to talk because my life simple. During my childhood, my mother was a very health conscious person. She always teaches how to cook, what to eat, and we will come from poor family, so seldom eat outside also. Sometimes we even cook 3 meals a day. And this habit I inherited from her. So from the diet, I normally eat white meat, fish, veggie, and whatever procedure SOP need to clean the vegetable, we also follow strictly. So much so I can't share what I supposed to share today also. And during last year, June, I went for the medical check, the normal medical check. Beacon Hospital told me that everything okay. So when I come to last year, 2023, April, I feel certain pain, like thread pulling pain like that from my left breast. So I thought, hey, my medical check already showed me good results, so no worry. Maybe this was the muscle pain. So I don't bother so much. But in May, I feel a lump. So I know something is wrong. I asked advice from Dr. Peter. Then he advised me to SJMC, get a thyroid check. So I went. I did all the mammogram, ultrasound, whatever. So I did it. And finally, in June, confirmed is cancer. Not only that, this cancer is very, very active and is negative. That means it's not very common in this medical line. So he said, mine is triple negative. And I need to do immediate remedy. So straight away, I didn't go for so many second opinion. I just agree what doctor told me. She said that my case is a bit special. You got to do chemo first, reduce the size of the cancer cell, then go for surgery, followed by the radiotherapy 15 times. So all this I went through within 6 months, everything done. I thank God that during this period, I feel that God is with me. I receive so many support from the family members, brothers, sisters in Christ. They really supported me. So today, if asked me to share the diet before, after, and so during my chemotherapy, it doesn't have much change. My diet already so simple, so not much change. I can eat only white meat, veggie. So eat fish long, can cook simple diet. Towards the 4th and 5th chemo, because the drug changed. The drug is supposed to attack the limba. So it's very strong, very tough. The time people ask me during the first 3 chemo about ulcer. I said, I don't have any ulcer. Okay. But the 4th and the 5th one really killed me. The whole mouth and throat, like changing skin. The ulcer is not spot by spot, you know. It's the whole mouth, whole throat. At night, very, very dry, pulling dry, that I can't sleep. Only maximum 1 hour. Every hour got to wake up. That time is not what diet you're supposed to eat. It's what you can swallow, you know. I can only swallow liquid food. So the main diet, also advised by the doctor, to take a lot of plant protein. So I add. Protein is my magic food during the whole process. Wherever I'm hungry, I'm weak, I drink. Because solid food cannot even touch the tongue, you know. Swallow drinks also very painful. So all this, I completed the 6th chemo, then slowly recover, can eat solid food. From now, my diet also very simple, white meat, veggie. And so unlucky to hear that Japan also pollute the sea. So fish also not safe to eat. So what can we eat? I also don't know what to say. So better listen to our oncologist, the best advice on diet. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Sister Diana. Thank you. Okay, before moving on to our main speaker today, let's take a break to enjoy a bit of our church activities for 5 minutes. Brother Yiheng is going to sing us a very romantic and jazzy song. Thank you, Brother Yiheng.
Thank you, Eve. Thank you. So happy to see so many of you. Actually, I not just sing a song. There's a prize. I'm promoting a concert, a jazz concert. But before I say anything and encroach on the time, put on the music. Familiar? I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days and the dark sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm up here next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. A group of musicians and singers from Tokyo and Yokohama is going to visit us. This is, believe me, this is a top class jazz group. They have come before and they're very generous. They don't charge us a single cent. The church picks it up and pay partly for their airfare and the hotel. And thereafter, they do it. They love Malaysia. They come back because they love the people's hospitality and warmth and Malaysian food. Whereas FBC is interested to share the love of God through music, through jazz. So I'll be having a booth outside. So please see me. Tickets are still available for both days. The second day, which is Sunday, half the songs are different from the first day. So you are invited to attend both days. Well, because it's a community service, the FBC foot the balance of the bill, and your part is to help defray costs by paying 25 ringgit. Outside, easily 250 ringgit. All right? Thank you very much. Oh, you're having problems.
Brother Philong is going to introduce to us this Alpha class. Alpha class, I can't talk much about this class. Let Brother Philong to talk about it. Huh? Dr. Winnie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Let me introduce Dr. Winnie. Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming Dr. Winnie, an esteemed oncologist with SJMC and Institute Cancer Negara, who will be shedding light on the vital role of food in cancer. Today, she's coming in here to give us a talk. Dr. Winnie will bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in this field, and we are privileged to have her share her insights with us today. Let's welcome Dr. Winnie.
Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this event, and it's my privilege and honor to be speaking to you regarding the role of food in cancer. But first off, I would like to just get to know you on the floor as a survey. How many of, let's define cancer journey survivors and warriors, those people who have been diagnosed with cancer, ongoing treatment, I will term you as cancer warriors. And those who have had the treatment completed under surveillance and so on, we will say cancer survivors. Now, among this group of people, how many of you have had the privilege of a dietitian consultation? Hands up. None. Throughout the whole journey, never met dietitian before. Wow, okay. What about how many of you have been given advice by family and friends regarding what to eat while you were diagnosed with cancer? Hands up. Quite a few, yeah? How many of you have personally given advice to cancer patients on what to eat and what not to eat? Hands up. Maybe there are more than what we see here. So, now, I think there's a reason why we are so involved and so preoccupied with food. Most of the time, when one is diagnosed with cancer, it's a very life-changing, impactful moment of one's life, isn't it? There's a lot of huge emotional, mental, and physical impact. And as a result, we actually lose a sense of control of ourselves. Because it's not within our control that we get cancer. So let's control something else, which is the food we eat. Don't you feel that way sometimes? And that's why you ask around, what can I eat or what can I not eat to ease my cancer journey better? So there are things that there are some myths going on or certain beliefs and practices on food that have been going around for a long time, and it's perpetuated by people who give advice and vice versa. So I hope you'll be able to get through these little pointers on what can and the do's and don'ts, and you're most welcome to speak to me along the way, and you can stop me to ask questions, then I'll try to give my best to answer them. So now, the next thing I would like to move on is the talk itself. Okay, so the topic of my presentation is about cancer and food myths. It may be something that you inherently believe that is true, but it may be a myth. So let's look at it in a more scientific angle, medically sound point of view, whether it's valid or not. So there are a few food practices that we maybe have been indoctrinated over time that perhaps have been actually can be dispelled through evidence. Firstly, what's the impact of diet on cancer risk? We all know a healthy diet can help reduce the risk of developing certain type of cancers. And ideally, consuming a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grain, lean protein can have all the essential nutrition that a person needs to have support overall health and as a result to prevent cancer. However, on the other hand, consuming highly processed food and unhealthy food such as sugary snacks, fried food, processed meat may increase the risk of developing cancer. So all these food contain very high levels of unhealthy fat with added sugar and preservative that can be detrimental to health. Moving on, so let's talk about cancer and food myth. There are a lot of misconceptions going on about the relationship between cancer and food. So let's try to debunk them one by one. I may not have covered everything, but later on, if you would have certain questions, we can try to go through it together. So that we need to rely on evidence-based information to dispel any myths or any practices which are uncertain. So this ensures that we can make informed decisions about the diet and lifestyle. So first one, is this a common belief? Sugar causes cancer. Does it really cause cancer? So I've already stated in this slide that cancer is a very complex disease. It's a combination of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors. But sugar alone does not cause cancer. What happens is that, yes, cancer does consume more sugar. Glucose is the most basic form of sugar. If you eat rice, noodles, bread, any carbohydrate, it will be digested, and as a result, in your body, it will be converted to glucose ultimately. And even though cancer cells consume more due to the inherent fact that they have a higher metabolic rate, but it does not cause the initial development of cancer or accelerate its growth. In fact, we need sugar to live. We need energy. I've had patients who intentionally starve themselves, thinking that by starving themselves, they can starve the cancer too. But this leads to very avoidable effects, such as the patient having been going through chemotherapy. If they take inadequate food with not enough nutrition, pre-chemo blood assessment would be unacceptable. That means lack of red blood count, lack of albumin, and so on. And as a result, the patient's chemo will be delayed. And long-term effect is such that untimely missing chemotherapy, delayed chemotherapy, would cause poor response to the treatment, meaning the cancer cells would not get timely intervention in terms of chemo cycle because of poor blood counts. So this is something avoidable. And I would definitely not recommend anyone to starve or go on a diet to starve the cancer cells. It doesn't work that way. So balanced diet is the key. Anything excessive is not good as well because it contributes to obesity, which is a risk factor in certain type of cancer. But overall, I would say balanced diet and healthy lifestyle plays a significant role in cancer prevention. What about evidence guideline? So American Cancer Society and World Health Organization recommend balanced diet, including moderate sugar consumption and a healthy lifestyle. So please continue to take your sugar in your coffee, in your tea. It's okay. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Acidic food promote cancer growth. Is it true? Firstly, I've heard of some people selling alkaline water. Have you heard of it? Or anyone has alkaline water machine at home? Hands up. Wow, quite a few, huh? So how do they market themselves? They will say alkaline pH of an alkaline water is very good for the body. We need alkaline pH in order to sustain healthy body, healthy growth. Now, this is the science to dispel that. Basically, the idea of acidic food promoting cancer is a myth. There's no evidence to support the claim. Firstly, let's understand the physiology behind this. pH is a measure of how acidic or alkaline a substance is. So from the scientific point of view, the pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, where 0 being highly acidic, 7 is neutral, and 14 being highly alkaline. So now, our body has a very tightly regulated pH balance. Blood pH is always maintained between the range of 7.35 to 7.45 without any effort on your part. It's called homeostasis. No matter how, no matter what, your pH is within that range. Even if you douse yourself with alkaline water, the body will work even harder to keep within that range. If you alkalinize yourself, the body has to work even harder to revert back to that narrow range of 7.35 to 7.45. So at the end of the day, our body is a miraculous organism and a machine within that will regulate this. So do not eat or believe the fad that alkaline water is very good or acidic food promote cancer growth. It doesn't work that way. I hope from this day onwards, this will help dispel the myth that acidic food promote cancer or alkaline water is the miraculous drink for everyone. Now, this is a second slide regarding the same myth to show that there are studies done to dispel the belief that acidic food promote cancer. So there are studies done by Cancer Research UK, American Cancer Society, National Cancer Institute, and the Journal of National Cancer Institute. Basically, in summary, they conduct research then they found that there's no clear evidence to support the claim that acidic food promote cancer growth. So as long as we consume balanced diet, our body's hemostatic mechanism will maintain the pH within the regulated and known range. Myth number 3, superfood can cure cancer. So what are superfood? Very expensive food, right? You have to buy them from organic stores. Yeah, you have from the picture itself, you can see they're like grains, expensive grains, perhaps imported vegetables and fruits. And actually, these foods are very good. They are nutrient-rich and considered to be very beneficial for health and well-being. Very often touted for their high levels of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. However, there's limitation of superfood in the role of cancer treatment. Even though while superfood can provide important nutrients and contribute to balanced diet, it is very important to understand that there's limitation in the context of cancer treatment. It doesn't cure as long as you maintain a balanced diet. If you take kale, the more expensive version of kailan, it's still the same. So it's actually not a cure. It doesn't cure on its own. As we know, cancer is a complex disease that needs a comprehensive treatment plan and includes surgery, chemo, radiation therapy, and targeted treatment. Superfood can support overall health, but they are not a substitute to evidence-based medical treatment. So some believe, you take superfood, it will cure your cancer. Don't have to go for conventional medicine. That will be the greatest mistake a person can do to their body and their cancer. Because by the time they practice this, the disease will have progressed rapidly to the point where it may be non-curable or a stage 4 disease. And there's lack of scientific evidence that superfood have very good benefit in terms of cancer. Some have shown quite promising early phase lab studies, but there's not enough evidence to support this claim that it can cure cancer. So more research is needed. So please don't take it as a huge lifestyle change and practice. Don't take it as a be-all, end-all to this. You can supplement, but it's not a necessity. And cancer is also highly individualized, depending on the type of disease. What works for one person may not work for another. And each person's treatment plan should be tailored to their specific type of cancer and the stage. So certain food may have different effect on different individuals, and the impact on cancer treatment outcome may vary. So I would say at the end of the day, focus on overall diet. Rather than relying solely on superfood, it's important to focus on maintaining a balanced and healthy lifestyle. A very well-rounded diet that includes a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fat can provide the necessary nutrients to support the body during cancer treatment. I do get some questions during cancer treatment, especially chemotherapy. Can patients take raw food? Or have you been advised by your friends and family to avoid raw food? Anyone? Yes? So there is some scientific basis to this, and I would like to share with you. When one undergoes chemotherapy, the immune system tends to be weaker because during chemotherapy, white cell count can drop. Naturally so during chemo. It drops to a certain level and it rises again, right in time for the next cycle. That is also why chemotherapy regime is done either on a 2-weekly basis or 3-weekly basis, because it allows time for the blood cells to recover. It goes down, it dips down, and it goes up. However, during the time when white cell count dips down, that is also the time when our immune system will be weaker. And when we are weaker, there's a higher propensity of getting infection. Any bacteria, any viruses around cancer patients or ongoing chemotherapy would have higher risk of getting them. So when we take raw food, there's always a risk that there will be bacteria, viruses like salmonella in the raw food. So then that's why generally patients are advised not to take raw food. But the thing is, if the raw food is clean in a hygienically good manner, such as raw salad and fruits, then it's okay. As long as you can ensure that the food is cleaned appropriately with no residual bacteria, then it's fine. Because raw vegetables are good for you. Raw fruits are good for you. You don't cook fruits, right? So definitely, as long as you clean it well, it's a green light. Please go ahead. In fact, take more of them. Okay, myth number 4. Microwaving food causes cancer. My mom thinks so too. So anyway, let's go to the scientific basis. It actually does not cause cancer. It's actually safe and efficient method of cooking that has been used for many years. Now, the reason is the waves used in microwave are non-ionizing. It means they do not have enough energy to break down chemical bonds or cause DNA damage. What it does is it merely causes the water molecules to vibrate and generate heat. And this heat cooks the food. So there's no risk in microwaving food. So continue microwaving your food. This will be a very popular belief too. Organic food prevents cancer. I believe our organic shops around here is inundated with a lot of cancer survivors, warriors, buying organic food from them. Contrary to the popular belief, actually there's no scientific evidence to support the claim that organic food prevents cancer. So while organic food may have certain benefits such as reduced exposure to pesticides or potentially higher nutrient content, it's important to understand that cancer is a very complex disease and influenced by various factors. So organic food doesn't really prevent cancer. There are many aspects to cancer development. And during the course of treatment of cancer, such as chemotherapy, targeted treatment, immunotherapy, or radiation therapy, as long as food is taken in moderation, balanced diet with carbohydrate, protein, vitamin, and minerals, that's good enough. It need not be organic. And hygienic, of course. The next myth, soya increases breast cancer risk. Has this been around as well? Do you take a lot of soybean milk or any soya-based protein, it induces cancer, or it may cause recurrence in existing patients with breast cancer? Now, there are controversies surrounding this. It's a long-standing debate whether soya consumption increases the risk of breast cancer. Some studies have suggested a potential link, while others has found no association. But the majority of evidence-based research indicates that actually a moderate soybean consumption is safe and may even have protective effects against breast cancer. Evidence-based, now soya contains a compound called isoflavones. These are phytoestrogens that mimic the effects of estrogen in the body. But the effect of phytoestrogens on breast tissue are very different from those of endogenous estrogen. So as much as it mimics, if you consume them, it doesn't have the same effect as that of the natural estrogen occurring in the body. So multiple large-scale studies have found no significant increase in breast cancer risk associated with soy consumption. In fact, some have shown that soy consumption may reduce the risk of breast cancer, especially in Asian population where we tend to like to eat soya-based food or even drinks. It's important to know that these studies focus on whole soya food, such as tofu, tempeh, and edamame, rather than isolated soy protein or supplements. So as with any dietary component, moderation is the key. So as part of a balanced diet, it's not likely to increase breast cancer risk. Just take in moderation. Now, this actually ends the myth. So these are the evidence to support the fact that soy consumption does not increase the risk of breast cancer. American Cancer Society, Harvard Medical School, National Cancer Institute, and World Cancer Research Fund have actually done studies to study whether soy consumption have any association with breast cancer risk, and it's found that it does not. In fact, some even have associated reduced risk of breast cancer recurrence and improving survival rate. So I hope this would dispel the myth that soya increases breast cancer risk. Please continue to take your soy meal, soybean, and any soy products. Now, before I come to this conclusion, I would like to add a few more which I suddenly thought of. What about traditional Chinese medicine? Have you heard of anyone? Has anyone concurrently go for traditional Chinese medicine while undergoing cancer treatment? Anyone? Or at least seek a TCM doctor, Chinese practitioner? No? Or has that ever been in your thought? Should I combine TCM with conventional medicine? Would it improve my outcome or at least maybe reduce my side effects of treatment? I'm sure these thoughts will have come, right? Now, let me share this with you. There's a reason why sometimes oncologists would discourage the usage of traditional Chinese medicine during conventional oncology treatment. Now, it's due to the fact that whatever treatment that oncology renders, such as chemotherapy, especially chemotherapy, it needs to have undergone liver metabolism. That means any drug that goes into our body, once it's in the bloodstream, it has to pass through the liver to be filtered or to be metabolized before it's excreted. So based on that same vein, any Chinese medicine, such as Chinese medicinal herbs, some of them would have components, active components within that would actually affect the liver metabolism. Some would hinder the metabolism, some would actually induce higher metabolism. Both ends of the spectrum, either they activate more or inhibit more, is not good for treatment. It's not good for the cancer drug. That's because if we cause the liver to metabolize faster, meaning the filtration is faster, any cancer drug that goes through the liver will be excreted faster than the necessary rate. That means it's expelled faster. So it doesn't have enough time to work in the body. That's one. Number two, if the Chinese medicine causes the metabolism to be inhibited, that means slow down the metabolism. That means whatever cancer drug that goes into the liver to be metabolized will have slower metabolism, meaning longer rate of retention in the body. As a result, you get unnecessary toxicity and side effect. I hope that answers your question, why we would discourage the use of TCM. Of course, sometimes we won't understand what are the active compounds in the Chinese medicine. A lot of times, sometimes they market as pills or even a drink, or even just Chinese medicinal herbs that ask you to go home and boil them. But the fact is that they do have some active ingredients. Metabolism, the effect of it to the liver is very much unknown sometimes. And that is why, generally, across the board, we will say, please don't take TCM. Unless, there's a caveat to this, unless the TCM doctor is also conventional medically trained. Have you heard of that small subset of TCM doctors in Malaysia? They have undergone conventional medical school training. They are doctors. And subsequently, they pursue TCM in China. So they come back as doubly qualified. Yeah, so these doctors, they are doctors of this nature, though in limited supply. They will be able to give you good advice. That means they know what not to prescribe you. Okay, so with that, let's conclude our talk for today. So, in summary, I would say consuming a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grain, and lean protein is important for overall health and reducing the risk of cancer. There's no single food or diet that can prevent or cure cancer. And processed meat, such as bacon, hot dogs, have been linked to an increased risk of cancer and should be consumed in moderation. And alcohol consumption should be limited as well because it reduces the risk of certain types of cancer, including breast, liver, and colorectal cancer. So I hope this talk will have debunked some myths that perhaps have been, in our minds for some time. So these myths I summarize as myth number 1, sugar causes cancer. No, it does not. Superfood can cure cancer. No longer. Acidic food promote cancer growth, and alkaline water promotes improve our reduce risk of cancer. Also debunked. Microwaving food causes cancer. Also not true. Organic food prevent cancer. Nope. Soya increases breast cancer risk. Not at all. Okay, I shall now open the floor to further, perhaps, statements that maybe we want to know further and maybe I can help you with. I will do my best to answer. Thank you very much.
Brothers and sisters, we will now begin our question and answer session. Please direct your questions to the stage, and Dr. Winnie will be delighted to respond to you. Thank you.
Wow, I didn't know that there's so many of these myths that is being debunked today. But that does not mean that you rush back and start, consuming a lot of sugar and so forth. But what I noticed in this presentation is two important words that keep popping up: is balanced diet, doctor, correct? And also another one is moderation. Okay, so now looking at the topics that we have given to us, okay, so now it is a important session which just now doctor has spoken. Now it's your turn to ask questions, okay? As you start reflecting back all this information, okay? There are mics around, okay? Anyone who have burning questions, who wants to clear up some doubts or further information that you want to know out of this topic, you can just grab a mic somewhere. Where's the mic? Sorry, is the mic located somewhere? Okay. Yeah, sorry. Anyone that just lift up your hand and maybe just introduce yourself a short.
Good afternoon, doctor. I'm Dolly from Klang. The latest water is hydrogen water. There's a machine that produces hydrogen water. And it's also a myth, I think. I don't know. To say that the hydrogen water is good. What have you to say, doctor?
Hello. Okay.
Thank you.
So, firstly, let's understand what they mean by hydrogen water. Is it the hydrogen as a gas, which is inert, is H2, meaning two hydrogen atoms are fused together naturally in the environment, and that's hydrogen. Now, that would be whatever that's already in our environment. If you're talking about hydrogen split atom, that is radioactivity, you split it, nuclear fission, we call it. Two atomic hydrogen atoms split. It takes a lot of energy and it creates a massive amount of energy, and that's nuclear activity. So I would assume hydrogen water means the hydrogen gas, not the hydrogen atom per se. Yeah, because it's very difficult to do fission of the hydrogen atom in a normal commercial environment. You need a huge nuclear reactor for that. So for hydrogen water, it's already inherently in our environment. I mean, hydrogen hydrogen gas. So infusing hydrogen gas into the water does not have any effect or any benefit to our body. Yeah, and water itself is H2O. So it's already got two hydrogen atoms within. Infusing more hydrogen air inside doesn't make it any different or better. So it's also a myth.
Yes. Any more? How about the other end? Anyone have any particular question?
Yeah, one more.
Just lift up your hand so that I can see your hand. Yes.
My name is L.N. Fu. You mentioned it's best to take balanced diet in moderation. Can you explain in moderation in quantifiable terms so that we can at least picture it? You know, in terms of like how many grams per week or how many times, because different people may have different understanding of moderation.
Yeah.
So that would be helpful if we know it in measurable terms.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you for the question.
I think the caveat is I'm not a dietitian. It's very hard to give an appropriate volume or amount that's recommended. It's actually based on, scientifically, it's based on each person's daily caloric requirement. And from that caloric requirement, a dietitian would recommend what proportion of the amount for each food group type. But inherently, it will be essentially carbohydrate, protein, vitamin, and minerals. Have you seen, kids' food plates where they have half a circle, half of the circle will be a full half, and the other half will be a quarter. That means half, quarter. So that is what the dietitian usually recommend. You take a quarter carbohydrate, a quarter vegetables, and then the full would be protein, half, quarter. But this is a very general outline. I would recommend you to seek a dietitian's advice, please.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Yes, gentleman there.
Thank you for your question. It's a very, very relevant question. My own family asked me, how can I detect cancer before it becomes stage 4? To be honest, early stage cancer have no symptoms. It's actually quite sad, isn't it? No symptoms, how to tell when to go for tests. If there are a few screening methods that's acceptable, mammogram, but mammogram is for breast. It's basically an X-ray where you squeeze the breast into a flat pancake and you do an X-ray over it. And then you see whether there are any suspicious lesion that warrants further investigation. So that's a regular screening. For colorectal, it will be colonoscopy. That means you put a scope through the anus. It's impregnated with a video, and the doctor will video the entire large intestine to see if there are any suspicious lesions. But this itself would not typically be done at a very, these are screening tools, but only if a person voluntarily goes for it. Is there a fixed one answer fits all screening method to check everything from head to toe and to see if there's cancer? There's none in the recommended guidelines. But personally, if you want to know everything, do a CT scan, but not in the public sector. No one would do that for you. If you choose to do one to screen from head to toe, like a head, neck, thorax, abdomen, pelvis, but you have to pay for it. It's a CT, thorax, abdomen, pelvis. Head, neck, thorax, abdomen, pelvis. But it's not something that's done very routinely because it would overload the healthcare system with unnecessary scans. But on an individual basis, if you're very, very concerned, you want to detect something early or find out something that warrants further investigation, that may be an option, but I wouldn't advocate that because healthcare screening programs or national health screening is based on public health calculation, meaning when someone recommends a certain screening modality, it has to be worth the number of screenings to detect a worthy number of positive findings. So on a public healthcare perspective, doing a scan like that for the general public is not cost effective, and that's why it's never advocated. But on an individual basis, if you have the means and you want to know early, that may be a possible one-size-fits-all screening method. Not
you live
often
up
at
to
all.
it?
Just one off will do. And also at the right age, not too young, because most of the time, younger patients do have less risk. Cancer typically occur at a fairly elderly population or older second half of your life towards like 40s, 50s and all. But that's not something I would advocate. It's not part of a general screening guideline because it's not a cost-effective solution to subject the general public to one CT scan, even if it's once in a lifetime. Yeah. And so please don't go around getting that, because I think we'll be inundated with this. It's not a very recommended thing at all. I would say screening by doing fecal or cord blood, meaning you go to a normal clinic, they will submit a stool sample, they will check whether there's any red blood cells in the stool. So that's the most basic form of screening. Once they detect any blood in the stool, then that would be an indication, or it warrants further investigation, where you'll be advised to see a surgeon or a gastroenterologist to do a colonoscopy. And while you're doing a colonoscopy, do an upper scope also, so top and bottom. But top and bottom, does it cover everything? No. It cannot cover small bowel because no scope can penetrate through it. So upper scope, called OGDS, covers from the mouth all the way down to the stomach. Beyond the stomach, in the small intestine, no scope can penetrate. Lower scope colonoscopy covers from the anus all the way to the entire length of the large bowel, but not the small bowel. So you do upper lower scope, you can still miss a small bowel cancer.
Okay,
And-
we can take another 3 more questions. So just lift up your hand so that we can pass the mic to you. Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I just want to find out from you that you mentioned that we should not be taking TCM alongside our treatment. So how long do we allow ourselves before we can, consider TCM? And another thing is, a lot of people are touting this lynchy. So I don't know what is your opinion on that.
Okay.
And is cassava really a good
Tapioca.
yeah,
Okay.
food?
So your
Thanks.
first question is TCM, the timing of TCM after or before during treatment. Number 2 is 灵芝. Number 3, cassava, tapioca. Now, the timing of TCM. TCM has different types and mode of administration. If it's something you consume, you drink, then yes, it's not recommended throughout the entire course of your cancer treatment, because as I mentioned just now, it may affect the metabolism of the liver, leading to impaired metabolism of the cancer drug, either is excreted too fast or retained too long in the body, both which are detrimental. Number 2, if the TCM is of a non-oral consumption method, such as acupuncture, that's still okay during the whole treatment, because it is known that, say, if you're on cancer treatment with chemotherapy, you may have nausea, vomiting, and the relevant side effects, a bit more tired, more lethargic. Acupuncture can actually help in that as well. So it has been practiced and it's actually acceptable. Whereas oral TCM medication or supplement that you consume would definitely should not be consumed during the course of entire cancer treatment, be it chemo or immunotherapy or targeted treatment or radiation therapy for that matter. But once you complete the entire course of treatment, then yes, you have a free rein. Go ahead. 灵芝, I'm sorry, I do not have enough information regarding this. But similarly, if they are plant-based medicinal Chinese herbs, there is still a risk, because all these, they do have some active ingredient that may affect the liver function. And that's why any particular fungi, medicinal herbs, even though plant-based, as Chinese medicine would tout as natural, 天然, they say can, but actually they do have active substance that can affect the liver metabolism. So I would advise to avoid that during the active cancer treatment. Cassava is tapioca. So tapioca taken in moderation is okay. Do you intend to take a huge volume per day? No. So basically, I would summarize, cassava is a root plant, a tuber. It's carbohydrate based. When it's consumed, it's digested, broken down into glucose, which is sugar, which is still okay in moderation.
Okay, brother.
My name is David.
Yes,
I
hi.
actually have two questions for you. I think one question maybe you have answered in some detail to the previous questions raised. Now, my question is on ginseng. You may classify as a superfood or as a herbal, but a lot of people say that, it cures cancer or it gives you a boost to your nutrition, your body, resistance, and so on. What's your feeling about consumption of ginseng? And then second question I have is, in particular on ovarian cancer, is there anything that can be done to minimize the recurrence of ovarian cancer?
Thank you for your
Thank
questions.
you.
So first question about ginseng. Second, what can be done to reduce risk of recurrence? Yes. Now, first off, ginseng, it is, like a superfood, also a very active Chinese medicinal drug. We've known properties for in terms of immunity and so on. So it does affect liver metabolism. You'll be surprised. There are patients who take ginseng, and with the ongoing treatment, it causes some liver function impairment as well, meaning the liver enzymes get elevated. So as long as you're on cancer treatment, I would suggest to avoid that. It's actually very heaty as well. You feel the heat. So there's something going on within that's causing this heat to be generated. And that's increased metabolism or some sort of metabolism alteration. So I would strongly advise to avoid that during active cancer treatment. Number two, how to reduce risk of recurrence. The easiest question to answer would be, please follow the oncologist's recommendation to treat the cancer while it's there and not delay your treatment. Because conventional oncological management is evidence-based, meaning we would not recommend something if there's no evidence of improved survival rate or reduction in recurrence rate. Meaning whatever that's recommended by a trained oncologist would be sound clinical practice in order to reduce the risk of recurrence in the future. I give you an example, breast cancer, the most common. Some women with advanced breast cancer, locally advanced, will need to be subjected to multiple lines of different treatment, such as chemotherapy, first maybe to reduce the size, surgery, followed by radiation, hormonal therapy, even anti-HER2 treatment, and so on and so forth. That's because for every therapy that's recommended, there's add-on survival benefit to it. So how to reduce the risk of recurrence maximally is to go through the entire course of oncological management. And in the future, after the full course of treatment has completed, then continuous active surveillance would be important. And then that depends on the type of cancer that one is afflicted with. For instance, for breast cancer, regular annual mammogram is recommended, and also routine screening with either a CT scan or ultrasound. Whereas for prostate cancer, for that matter, then serum PSA is recommended for routine screening in order to pick up any signs of disease recurrence early, such as a 3-monthly PSA. For colorectal cancer, those who have been fully treated, already resected, no issues, completed adjuvant treatment, the recommendation to reduce the risk of recurrence would be on an annual colonoscopy and also CEA monitoring. So it depends on what type of cancer, when it's picked up, what stage it's diagnosed at. For stage 4 disease, the question is no longer about how to avoid recurrence. Stage 4 means a person is already afflicted with cancer, it's gone into the bloodstream, spread to other organs. It's not curable, but it's controllable. With the advent of the latest clinical trial evidence and so on, a person with cancer, even in stage 4, have very, very high, or at least depending on what cancer type, has a lot more options available to control the disease. It's more about whether the treatment modality is available or affordable. Yeah. So different cancer type, different stage will warrant different way of management. And to prevent recurrence, go through the entire course, the length and the breadth of the oncological management in order to gain the best benefit of a cure. That would be my answer.
Okay, with this, we come to the end of this talk. We would like to thank Dr. Winnie for her insightful speech and also a lot of information. Okay, your expertise, doctor, and your knowledge greatly enrich all our understanding. Right? Yes, right. And so we would like to offer, okay, a token of appreciation for Dr. Winnie. Okay, this 2 bottle is sponsored by enzyme drink from Navy International. Yeah, as a token of appreciation for your time, your speech, and all. This, by the way, this enzyme is highly quality of enzyme drink. Okay, originated from Taiwan. Okay, there are two. One is probiotic natural enzyme drink. Another one is probiotic per enzyme drink. All right. Thank you, doctor.
Can I just share something? So I'm given this as a gift after dispelling all the myths. So my final word for this is thank you very much. But even this enzyme drink may not necessarily be as effective as what one thinks. If your doctor advocates probiotics, there's a reason to do so. Let me explain. Just one more myth to dispel probiotics. So so you see, what is probiotic? Is healthy bacteria that occurs naturally in the gut, right? So when one takes chemotherapy or whatever treatment, sometimes you get diarrhea, spurious diarrhea to the point where all the healthy bacteria gets eliminated through through the diarrhea. So then no more no more healthy bacteria. So then you are recommended probiotics. In fact, probiotic does have a benefit. It actually can reduce diarrhea. So probiotic can be used, but you need not go for expensive supplements or expensive probiotic capsules. Yogurt itself is good enough. Yeah. So even when you travel overseas in areas perhaps of less developed country, you're afraid of getting diarrhea, gastroenteritis. One of the tips is to take their local yogurt first to acclimatize your stomach to their local germs, local friendly bacteria. Then it will reduce your risk of getting diarrhea. So similarly, probiotic can be obtained with less cost by taking just normal yogurt. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Winnie. Brothers and sisters, if you enjoy Dr. Winnie's talk, she'll be invited for our next meeting. And now we are going to have Alpha Talk. Brother Malcolm, thanks.
I was pretty impressed with the video clips of Nikki Gamble.
I learned something new each week.
From the sharing, it gives you some encouragement and also uplifting the spirit, you see.
The peace that I have is such a blessing that even my husband noticed that I'm a happier person now.
The Alpha program is really a blessing. It is give us a way to know what is the purpose of our lives.
Come here more often to Alpha or to or the church service, you can experience the presence of God.
Brothers and sisters, can you please stay back? And Dr. Peter is going to have a word of prayer for you. Yeah. Dr. Peter, please.
Okay, so this is a cancer support society. Okay, so we would like to spend the rest of the time, just a few minutes. Anyone who has been suffering from cancer, we would like to pray with you. So maybe you can form into small groups. Before anybody would like to be prayed for, can you put your hands up? Or you're all are perfectly healthy, then you can go home. Okay? This is a cancer support group. And we in First Baptist Church believe that the Holy Spirit is involved in supporting people and helping cure cancer. So we come from the other direction. So we would like to spend time to lay hands on you and pray for you. So those of you who would like us to do so, please stay back. And then we will then, the people who are like Eve, myself, all that will be coming to pray with you, okay? So the rest of you who do not want to be prayed for because you're a cancer survivor, you can go home, okay? All right, so those of you who want to stay back for us to pray, please stay back and then we'll come to you, all right?